Welcome to the bright side of aging. My name is Ike Engelbaum. I'm a pharmacist and the publisher of AmericanSeniorGazette.org. It has been wisely said, you cannot help getting older, but you can help getting old. It has also been said that age is a matter of the mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. My purpose in doing the show is so that seniors and caregivers can share their ideas and questions on how we can age gracefully and in a vertical position for as long as our good genes will allow. And if we've inherited bad genes, how to outwit them. Our topics include senior housing, financial, legal, safety, travel, health issues, interesting senior events in the community, and most of all, tips on how to put old on hold.
If your question is, who am I going to call to bring the kind of services into my home that I need because I can't get out? House Calls on Wheels provides both medical and non-medical services in your home. They can bring in doctors, dentists, nurses, therapists, and more. And those medical services are covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. And they have all sorts of non-medical services, whatever you need. Now, if you use 4 hours or more of non-medical services per month, you're going to get a free personal emergency button telephone that you can use for both emergencies or daily use. Call House Calls on Wheels toll-free for further information. 1-888-489-8980. That's 1-888-489-8980.
Hi, Ike Engelbaum. One of my sponsors is Cofix Nasal Spray. You can spray the inside of your nose and almost have the same benefits as a mask. In fact, it's been so well proven that it's now on the market in drugstores. Cofix RX. Spray it in the nose. 45 seconds later, you have up to 8 hours like a shield inside your nose. It's been scientifically proven. I'm really excited about it. I use it anytime I go out in a huge crowd. If you need any more information, call 888-489-8980. 888-489-8980. And we're on, and hopefully you're on as well. It's great to be with you again. And have we got a deal on weather today or what? It is absolutely wonderful. I try to bring attention to some of the wonderful things that seniors may not be aware of as to help. You hear the old joke that the government, I'm here to help you. Many times you're leery about it because the help that you're looking for ain't there. Well, I am so excited about having made the acquaintance of the area agencies on aging. For those of you who are not aware of it, it's really something phenomenal. There are area agencies on aging all over the country. Yes, you can go to any state of the union and there's an area agency on aging. We are blessed that we have one of the top-notch area agencies on aging in the Oakland, Wayne County areas as well as Macomb. And they've segmented it to where I believe there are 16 area agencies on aging in Michigan. And one of the premier ones is right in our backyard, depending on which yard you're at, in Oakland County. The Area Agency on Aging 1B, as in boy, is right in Southfield, Michigan. And they've got a dynamic team of really fantastic, knowledgeable people that can help you if you're a senior in almost all of your needs. And I'm hoping to have you have the opportunity to call them, and in bits and pieces we tell you some of the things they're involved with. The big thing now is with Medicare and Medicaid and what have you. And one of the premier counselors who's been with the Area Agency on Aging for, I believe, 10 years is George Wojdacki. If I massacred your last name, George, please correct me. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, Ike. Yeah, it's Wojdacki, and thanks for taking the time to acknowledge my 10 years with the Area Agency on Aging. I'm on the Medicare Medicaid Assistance Program, and one of the ways that I got in contact with him was through my physician. When I was getting ready to retire, he asked me what I was going to do, and I told him, I said, okay, what am I going to do? And I just threw it back at him, and he said, well, you should sign up to become a counselor with the Medicare Medicaid Assistance Program. And I said, why is that? He said, well, you know how to deal with doctors. You've been in pharmaceuticals for all these years, so you know what the drugs are all about, and you have a good basic idea about the insurance plans. So I followed his advice. I did so, did my 6 days of training, and I'm proud to say that to this date, 10 years and still going. So just having a great time helping people and getting people to understand that the Medicare Medicaid Assistance Program is a free service that provides information and direction for seniors as it applies to Medicare.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I understand it, the Area Agency on Aging 1B not only covers Oakland County, but a few of the other counties. Which counties do you cover, George?
I basically cover Macomb and St. Clair County, but we've also got individuals, counselors who work in Washtenaw County, Wayne County, and Livingston County, and I believe also Monroe County. So we've got a wide scope over the entire southeast portion of Michigan.
Mm-hmm. No, and one of the wonderful things, and I've had personal experience with the Area Agency on Aging 1B, is that when you call, because I get quite a few of our listeners who are frustrated in some of the voicemail jails, as I call them, when they call these agencies. You actually have a human being that speaks to you. In fact, I'll tell you, all the fancy-dancy programs of social media, internet, and LinkedIn, and all that stuff, I think there's a market for human being to human being marketing.
And I agree wholeheartedly.
And the truth of it is there are so many wonderful, talented people out there that would, aside from the pay, obviously you need money to pay your bills. The satisfaction that you have in helping another human being's life easier, there's no money that can pay for that. And I've had that joy, and I'm really so pleased to be able to be associated with you. And I wondered, George, if you could address the whole thing about they have these Medicare Advantage plan. What is that all about? What advantages?
Well, basically when somebody signs up for Medicare, they've got two choices for a supplemental plan. One of them is a Medigap policy, and that's generally indicated by a letter. In other words, many people listening will remember the fact that Blue Cross used to issue a legacy Plan C. Well, there's plans A, B, C, D, E, F, G with various different insurance companies. And the big benefit from a Medigap policy is that as long as you can afford the premium, you will not pay any copays or any deductibles. So with that being said, the premiums are going to be a little bit higher, but the benefits are considerably greater, seeing the fact that you don't have to pay for these copays. In comparing that to a Medicare Advantage plan, you're basically going to get a plan that's going to encompass everything that the Medigap policy covers in terms of Part A and Part B, but you also get Part C, which is prescription drug coverage. Now, one of the other benefits of the Medicare Advantage plans is the fact that you will have a lower premium, but on the flip side of that, you will be paying copays and deductibles for that. One of the biggest problems that we've been seeing lately have been the ads on TV that Jimmy Walker, William Shatner, and Joe Namath are all telling everybody to call this number because there's things that you haven't been receiving on your Medicare insurance plan, and you're entitled to it. Well, what they don't do is they don't provide full disclosure of what may or may not happen should you sign up for that plan. As an example, if you have a Medigap policy and you decide to one of those numbers because you want to take advantage of what they're saying, you may generally lose certain benefits. That would be the fact that you could sign up for that plan, that Medicare Advantage plan, and then if you didn't like it, you would have a difficult time going back to your Medigap policy only if you passed underwriting. The insurance company would have the right to underwrite you, and if you provide one answer that they don't like, then you're basically you're out on a limb on that. So you're basically looking at no copays with the Medigap. You're looking at copays but lower premiums with the Advantage plans, but you're getting that Part C coverage as well as everything else is being taken. All of your paperwork is being handled by the insurance company that you sign up with. So hopefully that answers your question. I can provide everybody with some clearer understanding.
And I was just going to ask, what phone number would you like to give out if someone wants to speak to a human being?
Well, funny you should make that request. The MAP phone number, the ship from Michigan, is 1-800-803-7174. That's 800-803-7174. And if you do call and leave the information, we try to make it a habit of getting back to our phone callers within 3 days. So
and actually, they are very knowledgeable and they speak in short-sleeve English. And if anyone, of course, I like to give out my toll-free number. Since I give it out all the time, that gives me an idea of who's listening. They can always call our toll-free number, 888-489-8980. That's 888-489-8980. And I'll be more than happy to put you in touch with the appropriate human being. Now, I ask anytime I'm sort of puzzled by any decision that as important as insurance and in buying a car as well, is that if you were buying, what would you suggest? So George, Wojdacki, what do you personally recommend for yourself?
Well, if I was turning 65, which I haven't because I've long passed that, but if I was turning 65, I would give serious consideration to a Medigap policy, whether it would be a Plan F or a Plan G. There are various different insurance companies that offer this plan, And again, the benefit from that is that I may be paying a little bit more on a monthly premium, but when it comes time to seeing a doctor, I don't have to worry about copays or any deductibles of that nature. And in this day and age, if you go see your primary care physician, you could end up paying anywhere from $10 to $40 for copay. The same is true with specialists. So whatever you do pay in the way of premium, it could easily be balanced out by not having to pay the copays and deductibles with the Medigap policy.
So the answer is that you feel Medigap is usually a best choice for a 65-year-old. Is that correct?
I would say yes. And the only other thing to take into consideration is that you would have to get a separate prescription drug plan, which for the most part are roughly, let's say, $11 to $15. There are plans available for $11 to $19 a month, which is very reasonable in conjunction with getting your prescriptions filled at a discount. The other, so that in itself should have you with enough coverage that you should be able to live comfortably with.
Now, I'm a pharmacist, so I've got a fairly decent understanding of some of the rigmarole involved in medications. And one of the things that I try to bring out is that, let's say you have a Medigap policy, since the only thing that really doesn't cover the prescription drug part, is you can actually call 1-800-MEDICARE, and they've got a human being that will go over your medications, and they will give you options. So help is available through human beings. So, and I am impressed always when I try to keep up with what's going on in the senior community. You actually have representatives that will come out to various organizations and churches and do a presentation. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. We have quite a few individuals who are willing to get in front of a crowd and to tell them all about the benefits of Medicare and Medicaid assistance program.
Well, if anyone is interested, if you're in a church or any organization, and I am a strong proponent of Caustic Senior Center. They are right on 11 Mile and Middle Belt, and if anyone is interested, they've got really some terrific deals there for lunch for under $5. So we might be able to arrange something for any group that's interested in their church or their senior center. If they'll put us in touch at 888-489-8980. I hate to put you on the spot, but do you go out, George? Or do they keep you locked?
Yes, I do. I've got some places that I go to on a regular basis, and I'm not afraid to drive for at least an hour. If it's just to help one person, it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, well, let's face it, as you get older, you definitely are going to be needing healthcare professionals, and if you've got a great agency like Harry Agency on Aging 1B that helps you in the decision process, it relieves the stress, and it's a known fact, the more stress you have, the more drugs you take. This way you'll take less medications too. That's an additional perk. So anyone that's interested, by all means, call 800-803-7174. And I can't help but be reminded of the used to be very popular to say, let George do it. Okay, so George will do it for you, folks.
Yes, I will.
Fantastic. It's been a delight to have you on the air. And you're so good that I'm going to have you come on again whenever you're available, okay?
Sounds like a good plan.
God bless. Right now, we'll take a brief break, and we'll be right back. Don't you go away. Family run for over 88 years, Friends Hardware has remained family-owned and operated. Friends Hardware is one of a kind. You'll find the newest products offered on TV at very competitive prices. You'll also find safety products, grab bars for bathrooms, battery-operated light switches, remote control devices that you can turn your lamps on or any electrical device. You don't have to run out there anymore. Just press the button. Better yet, just visit Friends Hardware, located on Main Street and 11.5 Mile Road. They're open every day. If you wish to call, it's 248-544-8111. That's 248-544-8111. Better yet, just visit 11.5 Mile Road and Main Street, Friends Hardware. Hi, Ike Engelbaum. I am really excited about a new sponsor, and that is Memory Health. These are vitamin capsules that you take 3 a day, and it improves your memory. Memory Health has been proven to be scientifically helpful for early stages of Alzheimer's. In fact, it has been claimed that it can even forestall Alzheimer's. Dr. Joel Kahn made this statement: in my more than 30 years of practicing medicine, no other product has ever come close to truly supporting brain health like Memory Health. It's a safe, natural supplement. If you need any more information, call 888-489-8980, 888-489-8980. As well, and I'm so excited about having a good, knowledgeable, upbeat friend, and she's so upbeat that we've assigned her a name of Rose. Is that right, Rose?
That is so right. Thank you for inviting me on your show today. I love being here.
Well, great. And Rose, your last name is?
Swede. Unless you're Polish, and then you would say Szwed.
That's like perspiration. Anyway, so tell me, I know you're quite as, like to say, a Renaissance person. Give us a 60-second spot about Rose. What do you do?
Okay, about Rose personally.
Yes.
I have just gone back to college, and if anybody has any questions about a senior citizen going back to college, please have them call you and we can talk about it. It's not an easy thing, but definitely well worth it. I'm interested in memory championships, and I've also increased my healthcare skills and opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
But for this particular show today with you, I have resurrected my company called Step on Bus Tours, which provided motor coach tours for senior citizens. I'm a very, very small company because I put so much into each and every tour. Your friend Harry Pivos knows all about my trips.
Oh yeah, he's a super guy and very knowledgeable. As an accountant, I use him and I've recommended him for my family and friends. And now, anybody listening, if they want to be in direct touch with you, my toll-free number is 888-489-8980. That's 888-489-8980. So who would you like, when that phone rings, to be at the other end of the line?
I am looking for senior citizens between actually the age of 50 plus. I have 95-year-olds that go on my trips as well. They're guided. I make sure that there's a lot of entertainment and that there's a lot of history, mystery, and education done in a very fun way. Our mystery trip, August 16th, we still have some spots left, is a one-day trip. We meet at 2 locations, one in Madison Heights and one on the west side, either Novi or Livonia. I'm not sure. I'll find out today where we have the most registrants from. And we leave about 7:30, return about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I have a full, fun day planned with amazing outdoor arts, historic locations, a fabulous restaurant, and a sprawling destination shopping experience.
Wow. So you can shop and tour and
Yes.
meet other seniors.
Like-minded people.
Well, you know, that's the whole advantage. In fact, like I was mentioning, on the first Wednesday of each month, we meet over at the Caustic Center. We call it the New Friends Group. It's right at 11 Mile in Middlebelt, where we get seniors together who are positive-minded, and it is amazing how much energy is created just by being around people that are not talking about their arthritis or diabetes. They're talking about daily life and how they're adjusting to it without exposing everything. Let's say, when is the date for the August trip?
August 16th.
August 16th.
And this is a day trip.
A day trip.
We also have a lot of fun and games on the bus. There will be excellent prizes awarded for whatever game I decide that you will play.
Well, you mentioned Harry Pivos. And
He's coming.
He loves them, and he can't stop talking about him. I said, okay, Harry, I've heard enough. That's wonderful. So you can have a great time, meet new people that share in the whole experience, and this is right at home base. Madison Heights is a location.
Yeah, this is a pickup location and also a senior center, either Novi or Livonia. I'm not sure which yet. But definitely, it's definitely worth it. The majority of the people who are coming on this trip have been on past trips, and they all met each other. So they all formed their own Step on Bus Tours travel friendship.
Well, you can't beat that. The truth of it is that you're entertained right from the get-go, and pricing is reasonable. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this continuously. And you've been on this for quite a while, have you not?
Yes, I have, except during the 3 years of the pandemic.
Yeah, right. Well, a lot of things came to a stop, and it's such a fun way to really get out and see things, enjoy things,
sure,
and learn about various type of situations that you might want to come back to. Is that right?
That's right. I have other trips planned for the rest of the year. A City of Detroit trip. I have actually 14 City of Detroit trips planned. I have 14 City of Detroit trips, but this is number 8, and we go to a location that not many tour companies go to because they don't know about it. My big claim to fame for it is it's got a very unique bookstore.
Yeah, well, it sounds fantastic. Call 888-489-8980 for fun, as well as getting to know, as I said, getting to know you, getting to know Michigan.
Sure.
It's great having you on the air. We'll talk again soon. Right now, I only have enough time for my favorite parting thought, which is, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. And that's why we call it the present. Please enjoy your present by looking and living life with the bright side of aging. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Network radio show. Our mission is to interview successful entrepreneurs who are willing to share with us their ideas and experiences, both the successes and the failures. Because as it has been jokingly said, you should learn from the mistakes of others, because you'll never live long enough to make them all yourself. My name is Ike Engelbaum, and I'm the founder of the Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan, which is a group of motivated people that are all interested in helping each other in achieving our personal and professional goals. Please check out our website, EntrepreneursNetworkofMichigan.com, for meeting schedule as well as self-improvement material. Our philosophy is that if it's to be, it's up to me. For over 30 years, Cruise Hearing and Service has helped thousands of people improve their hearing and enjoy the sounds of their life again. If you don't hear as well as you like, Cruise Hearing can help you. They have actually hearing aids that the batteries do not need to be recharged. And they also have a caption phone that you can view for free. And also the phone, if you are over 65, is available to you free. So any phone calls you get, you can see captioned if you don't hear that well. Hey, they've got other stuff. If you'd like a free cookbook, call 1-888-489-8980. That's available. You can call Cruise Hearing Direct at 877-456-2789. The number direct is 877-456-2789.
If your question is, who am I going to call to bring the kind of services into my home that I need because I can't get out? House Calls on Wheels provides both medical and non-medical services in your home. They can bring in doctors, dentists, nurses, therapists, and more. And those medical services are covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. And they have all sorts of non-medical services, whatever you need. Now, if you use 4 hours or more of non-medical services per month, you're going to get a free personal emergency button telephone that you can use for both emergencies or daily use. Call House Calls on Wheels toll-free for further information. 1-888-489-8980. That's 1-888-489-8980.
And hopefully you're enjoying this wonderful weather we have in Michigan. A nice thing about Michigan is that we have 4 seasons, so we give you a little treat from each one of them. The only thing that I'm frustrated about sometimes is that the 4 seasons come all in one day. If you could just spread it out a little bit. And I appreciate people wanting to ski and stuff, but if that could be shortened or at least kept to a minimum, I'd love much more sun and really enjoying this wonderful state. The Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan has been around for close to half a century, which means that we must be doing something right. We have meetings in person now since the virus has been subdued and unfortunately not gone, but it's certainly much more pleasant to get around and especially the opportunity to meet. We meet every other Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock out in Troy, and I'm affiliated with the Rotary Club and Optimist Club, and I strongly encourage you, especially if you are serious about the magic word called networking, don't just stick to necessarily all business type organizations. Reach out, and if you want some guidance as to which organizations fit your needs, by all means call our toll-free number 888-489-8980. A wonderful thing about getting out to some of these non-profit service organizations is you're meeting successful people who really we meet not only to help each other out in our professional life, but we give back to the respective community. I belong to the West Bloomfield Rotary and Optimist Club. So if you want to be my guest, you can either have a free breakfast or a free lunch. Just let me know when you want to join me, and we can work all those details out. The key in entrepreneurship is to reach out and actually meet talented people, and they can help you achieve your goals. Our mission of the Entrepreneurs Network, I must admit, I have gotten permission when Zig Ziglar was alive to use it. Zig Ziglar is regarded as the forefather of motivational speaking and also networking. And in fact, I had the privilege of having him on the air a few times. And his motto was, if you help someone achieve their goals, they more than in turn will help you achieve yours. This is what America has been and hopefully will continue, despite what our politicians do. And one of the joys I've had in making connections with talented people is one of the most talented video type people, and actually has taken advantage of what's really exciting today, is that the wonderful thing about technology is that it can actually supercharge whatever you want to get done. And Doug Willet is a master at the whole aspect of how technology can help. And in fact, Doug Willet is on the line with me now, and actually will share some of the wonderful things that he can do to help you and really reach the best success you possibly can. And Doug Willet, it's such a delight to have you on, so let me hear your sexy sounding voice. Hello, Doug Willet.
Hello, Mr. Engelbaum. How are you?
Before we, I must share this. It's such a wonderful story. Right from the get-go, they always say that in business, don't pick some sort of ambiguous name, which is one of the tips I give to people that come to our network meetings, is that they'll come in and ask them, all right, give your 60-second elevator pitch. They come in and they'll have some acronym like EBL Enterprises. And what does EBL stand for? Nobody knows. It's the first initial of their grandkids. Big deal. I want to know what you do. But your case, your son, I believe, gave you the idea for your company name, right?
That is correct. That is correct.
It's a fun story. Tell us how that happened.
So this was way back over a decade ago, probably about 12, 13 years ago. I was working on something, kind of contemplating what I wanted to be when I grew up. And and I was working on modeling something out. My great-grandfather had passed away at the house that he was born in and lived in a good part of his years. That building was no longer there. So I was modeling it out in 3D. And I started thinking about it, about helping people visualize things in time and space. And my son came in and he said, "What are you doing, Dad?" And I said, "I'm thinking about starting a business using Google Earth as a tool to help people visualize things." And he said, "You're a lunatic." And I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. I don't even know where you got that word, but that's pretty good. But at the time, I was also looking up at the picture of the Earth, and I thought, wow, it's if you could help people change their perspective or give them a different view of things. So, and it was a view from the moon, like a lunar. So I thought lunatic, lunatech. because that's what I'm doing, is taking a look at the Earth from a different vantage point. So I came up with Lunatech 3D.
And I've seen some of your Lunatech stuff, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And tell me a little bit about a virtual tour and how that can help someone on their online marketing.
Sure. So we're a visualization company. We do a variety of visualization services to help people tell their story online visually, to kind of help people get the message across quicker. So we do a variety of services where we do virtual tours. We do, if you know what Google Street View is, we do the inside of businesses. They call it Business View. We do a variety of other things, drone photography, aerial, Matterport tours, creating 3D models of things that people need to share with other people. And they're all kind of building blocks for what's coming down the pike. But over the last decade, we've kind of specialized in doing virtual tours to help people market themselves online through their social media, through their website. And we create what we call sticky content. If someone comes to your website and they're engaged with whether it's a video or a photo gallery or a virtual tour, the longer someone stays on your site, Google considers that a good experience, and they will give you higher rankings on Google simply because you're interacting with things on someone's website. So we specialize in creating sticky content for websites.
So what I was impressed with, you're talking for a non-techie. I guess I'm a non-lunatech. and what I really got excited about, because I've had the privilege of seeing what it is that, sure, you can take a video of a walkthrough, and it's like a flat, video, and that is it. But with the technology that you have, it's like it's three-dimensional. You're actually right in what you're looking at. I mean, it's really like being there without being there. Is that right?
Right. So what you're referring to are what we call, they're Matterport tours. And people have probably seen them online, may not just know the term. But it's similar to the virtual tours that we've done, but it now brings the element of 3D to the table. So as we create that visual walking tour of whatever someone wants to see, it also creates a 3D model of that space as well. So it uses LiDAR technology to not only to create what they call a point cloud, but it's basically when someone looks at it online, they're seeing a 3D model of that restaurant, that hotel, that store, that warehouse, that assisted living center. Anybody that's trying to show their business to someone else. Mm-hmm. It takes it to a whole other level when you can put them into a 3D environment.
Mm-hmm. And what's exciting about it is that this isn't something that you have to start a whole new rigmarole for if you have a web page. And by the way, I've got a few sponsors that help in developing the web page. But if you've got an existing web page, first of all, quite frankly, one of our sponsors will do an evaluation of your website and see what you might do to improve, as they call it, the search engine optimization, which basically means that when you Google a particular business, your name comes up first. So, you need talented people that can help you make that happen. So your virtual tours, or the Matterport tours, can be put on your existing web page. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yep. You can basically, there's a little chunk of code that whoever does your web page for you, it's as simple as copy and paste, and then that virtual tour is operating right on your website.
And the wonderful thing about it is that you can get the job done quite quickly. What is the usual procedure? Someone calls, "Hey, Doug, I heard about you. How long do I have to tie up my place for you to do your digital stuff?"
Sure. So I'll give you an example. I'm on my way downtown Detroit. There's an assisted living center that we're doing for them, and they're getting ready to do a remodel. So we are going to do a virtual tour, not necessarily for a marketing standpoint, but more for internal planning. They want to be able to have the floor plans for their upcoming remodel project. They need to be able to see where the electrical outlets are and the panels and the pipes. So we're going to go down. I'll be on site probably about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, because it's actually a 4-story building. And by tomorrow, the next day at the very latest, we will have blueprints, diagrams, the 3D model, the virtual tour complete and in their hands that they can use for their upcoming project.
Wow. So in other words, when the workmen arrive, they've got everything right there, and I assume obviously they have access to it on the screen as well, aside from having a blueprint. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the business owner gets to decide who gets to see what, in terms of, okay, there are certain areas of my facility that I would like to show the public. You know, the entrance, the certain areas that we promote. But there are a lot of areas of my property or of my building that should not see the public light, that only people that need to know. So, for example, the general public doesn't need to see where my back boiler is, but it is pretty important for the guy that has to do maintenance on it. Right. So when I send my maintenance guy an email, I send him a link, and in that link, it's going to put him right in front of that boiler so he can see exactly what he's going to need to work on when he gets there. So the beauty of the technology is that the user gets to decide what goes public and what stays private and what's on a need-to-know basis. Wow,
that is fantastic. If anyone is interested to call you direct, what number would you like to give out, Doug?
734-260-1069.
Now, the concept is called Matterport Tour. Is that correct?
That's one technology that is used, and Matterport is kind of one of the more recent technologies. That is a term that people use for it. You know, virtual tours, digital twins, Matterport technology. They're all kind of related to each other. So when someone uses any one of those terms, we nod our head and say, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. That's exactly what we're talking about."
What does digital twin mean?
Okay. Digital twin is similar to a virtual tour, but it's more comprehensive. It represents it's a digital model of something that exists in the real world. And you can put information into that digital twin. So, for example, again, I've mentioned that, historically, I've talked to businesses about, from a marketing standpoint. But now I'm doing more and more businesses from a management standpoint. So when we create that 3D object of their building, now they can plug data into that so that they can actually get readings off of equipment that's going on in the building. So a digital twin is kind of taking the Matterport tour to the next level. So it's similar, but not the same. I mean, they both share the goal of providing kind of a realistic representation. They differ in terms of their scope and purpose.
So, is there any particular business that is more beneficial for digital twin versus Matterport, but the tour, or it depends on the particular situation?
It depends on the situation, but one of the things in terms of, more complex data that's needed to keep track of things within the our Matterport tours can feed into more complex systems like a CAD program, or they call it BIM for Building Information Management. It's one of the building blocks for other, more complex systems. So the beauty of it is, the user may approach us on the level of, hey, I need this for marketing, but they can leverage that asset to help them manage their property in more ways than they've ever been able to before.
Now, the wonderful thing about technology is that anyone that's interested, if they call your number 734-260-1069, or I'd like to give out my toll-free number, 888-489-8980. Between those two numbers, you'll speak to a human being very promptly. They can actually see without having to leave their office. Can't you do it on computer, or can they?
Absolutely. You can. We did a project the other day that someone was on the road, and I sent him a text message, and in that text message, he goes, "Hang on one second, I got to pull over." He pulls over, fortunately, and I sent him a text message, and I said, "Okay, now you're standing inside the room where you need to take a look at, the issue that he needed to deal with." He's like, "Okay, well, wait a second. If I go," I said, "Well, take 2 steps forward and turn around the corner." He goes, "Oh, I get it. Oh, I'm all set. Thanks." So it works on any platform. It works on mobile, tablet, desktop, tablet, and that's the beauty of it. The technology and the throughput of data now is to the fact that you can send these types of assets, to anybody on any device.
Yeah. Well, I spend quite a bit of time in promoting alternatives for seniors in their housing needs. So particularly assisted living centers. I understand you've done quite a few of those. How is that working out?
Phenomenal. I mean, they use it, again, for a variety of different things. They're using it for one aspect of it on their marketing front, for their social media, for their website. They're using it, the floor plans for, maintaining. They're actually using it for training employees before the employees ever get on site. I was on site yesterday at a site, assisted living center, and they said, well, we can't take you down that. They had new employees that were in the conference room, and they're walking them through the building. And I bumped into them, I don't know how many times during the day, and at least twice I heard the person taking them on the tour. Well, I would show you down this hall, but we're under construction right now, so at some point we'll bring you back and we'll show you this. And I can't take you down that way because there's someone, that we're not allowed to go in there right now.
Right.
Again, they're using this for a variety of, virtual training, site management, marketing. I mean, the list goes on of how you can leverage, your virtual tour, your Matterport tour, your digital twin to help you save the most important thing, 2 things in life, time and money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, and the truth of it is that as much as I love promoting human being to human being contact, the running around to different retirement homes or assisted living centers to try to figure out if this is a place for you or someone that you could actually see it right on the computer with your family, and you can decide before you go in there, and if it looks like it's something to follow up on, then you go there.
Yep. Well, I got a very short story. I did an assisted living center several years ago, and my mom, knew I was in technology but didn't know what I did. So I showed her a facility that I had recently done, and she started to get tears in her eyes. And I'm like, Mom, what's the matter? Like, she goes, you don't understand. If I had this when we were going through the situation with Grandma, where we had to make a decision very quickly. And Uncle Jim is calling me from Kalamazoo, and Uncle Jerry is calling me from Traverse City. And I'm the person under the pressure, and they're asking, well, Donna, did it have this? And Donna, did it have that? She goes, if I had had this as a tool to show them, she goes, you don't understand how much of a difference this would have made and how much stress this would have taken off me at the time.
Wow. Well, you know, that is a phenomenal tip when you analyze it. And that is that most families are spread out all over the country, and there's always a decision maker. And I've talked to those decision makers, and it is really stressful because the burden's on them, and they have to tell them verbally in bits and pieces, well, it's got this nice area where they get together in the evenings, but here you can actually see what the heck is going on. We only have about a minute left, and you send me a note about a metaverse. What is that?
Okay. Well, the metaverse is a term that refers to kind of the virtual world where people can interact with each other. And I'm doing a project right now, we're calling it the Project Phoenix for downtown Plymouth. So we are digitizing the entire downtown area of Plymouth, Michigan, so that we can use it in a variety of ways. We can help tell the history of the entire downtown.
Wow.
So that as you're walking around, you could pull up your phone and say, okay, Google or whatever, show me what was here in 1950. Show me what was here in, 1875. And they're also using this for planning purposes. We're talking about the ability for autonomous vehicles to take the data from this so that they can be trained on, what obstacles are in the downtown area. It's a variety of ways. I got into it on the history front, but it's, the metaverse is coming. It may not be what, we're not all going to be walking around in cartoons like, Mark Zuckerberg wants us to, and it may take longer than what a lot of people want, but it is still coming. And it's all of these things that we do for our clients are building blocks to help them make that transition to the future technologies.
Well, the truth of it is that going out physically and checking out how big the bedroom is in an assisted living center, and actually seeing the various rooms they may have, to do that in a timely basis and not have the people around you, your family, to help you in the decision process. This is fantastic. You can get together, have dinner, and after dinner, you just meet to decide, hey, we're looking to do the best thing for our senior family member, and why don't we decide collectively? And you mentioned out of town, you could actually simultaneously have everybody see the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
No matter where they're at. So by all means, you ain't such a lunatic after all, Mr. Dugwell. But you are a lunatic. It's been a delight to have you on the air. I got a part company, and we'll talk again soon. Right now, I'd like to leave you with my favorite entrepreneurial passing thought, which is, if you really want to get anything done in life, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And there is no excuse for not achieving your dreams and goals in America, because it is the greatest country in the whole world. Remember, a goal is just a dream with a deadline.